Hello and welcome to my sixth webcast. Now this webcast was intended to be 3 weeks ago, but shortly before I was preparing my sermon on the morning of Sunday, May 5th, I was given roofies, against my will of course, and while I don't remember anything, I was arrested by the Athens County Sheriffs on trumped up charges, and I was locked up. And the sheriffs left this area, my first floor primary personal habitation, completely unlocked. And someone has erased a book that I was writing on brain implants. Now that was a lot of work. I've got 3 books just about ready to be published and about a dozen other books I am working on. One of the books is a collection of short stories, including a lot when I wrote growing up. Second is a book during my 4th expedition, my journey through the Tongass National Forest. I went with Joe Jensen by ferry. Greenpeace took me out on the Arctic melting boat and took me around in a helicopter. And then I went kayaking for 2 weeks on a double clipper kayak where I caught lots of fish, encountered grizzly bears and whales, and explored this amazing ecosystem being devastated by clear cutting. But I'm also working on a book about the biggest scandal on the planet, the subject of my first sermon, that is brain implants. Our government is putting implants into people's heads against their will. They're trying to mind control them. It is torture and it is terrorism, and it causes a lot of pain, and they also, unless you're really strong, they will control you. And with mind control drugs, they do that to people. And I've got this well documented at one of my websites, brainimplant.info. That's www.brainimplant.info. Now I urge all Christians to speak out against mind control, and I have formed a new organization, Citizens Concerned About Brain Implants, and I was about to announce that 3 weeks ago. And I believe that this is a big conspiracy to try to silence me, to try to put me in prison so that people cannot hear the great words of God, and that it'll keep me from uncovering the biggest scandal on the planet. But through these trumped up charges, my attorneys have filed subpoenas of Oblinus Memorial Hospital, Appalachian Behavioral Health Care, Hopewell Health Center, to force them to admit the truth on brain implants. You can already see them in my x-rays. You don't have to be a radiologist to look at x-rays. Just look at my x-rays at brainimplant.info. You can hear an interview that I did with Jeff Stibel talking about brain implants. And above all, we need people to do the right thing. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 17. Learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression. Now the biggest form of oppression today is mind control, brain implants done against people's will. And the number one need for justice these days is victims of brain implants. Now, in a similar story, there is an American, Richard Phillips, who spent 45 years in prison for a murder he did not commit. While he was given $1.5 million, that does nothing to compare with the 45 years of freedom taken from me. And a lot of my life has been taken from me and forced, and they're trying to take years and lock me up in the future, and I desperately need people to come out of the woodwork and force our government to tell the truth. Proverbs chapter 17 verse 15, he who justifies the wicked as he condemns the righteous are both alike an abomination to the Lord. Now, I'm the righteous. I'm trying to get the truth from our government about brain implants. You don't get a more sadistic thing than the brain implants. And when people are built in the image of God, and our government should not mess with that. And here's another verse from our Bible, Psalm chapter 43 verse 1. Vindicate me, O God, and defend my cause against an ungodly people. From the deceitful and unjust man deliver me. Those in our government and even in our hospitals are practicing deceit. They are not telling the truth. I had to go to Cuba, which is going to be a real exciting part of my upcoming book on brain implants if they don't keep erasing it. In Cuba, they did admit that I have a brain implant. They also found skull fractures, that they are covering up this big scandal here in America. And I urge people to join my organization. Give me a call at 740-753-3000. It is free to become a member. You don't have to support me as a person. You just need to support getting the truth from our government. Please join citizens concerned about brain implants, and everyone have a great day, and please don't let them lock me up for no good reason. Have a great Sunday.